Hello, my name is Dale Wilmite. I live in Mountain Village, Colorado. If you want to find out anything about me, you can go to MySpace where I have a page. This here is about honor killings and a way to stop honor killings here in America. As you should know, or most people should know, that honor killings is kind of rampant in some Muslim nations around the world, in fact, in a lot of them. And it hasn't really been clamped down by a lot of governments in these Muslim nations. Sometimes these governments just don't have the ability to clamp down on them. Women are viciously abused in these countries because they're basically less than animals to a lot of Muslim men and these imams and clerics and all these other freaks. I don't know why anybody would want to belong to a religion of death and destruction and murder and rape and mutilation and torture. In Christianity, we don't have that. Uh, but in the Muslim nations and where Sharia law is prevalent, that it's uh, it's very rampant in some places, and that's what will happen to America if we ever lose the war on terror. It's American women by the tens of millions will be murdered, tortured, raped, and mutilated, and humiliated if we lose. Anyhow, there is a way we can stop honor killings, at least here in the United States, or do a better job of it. When we allow new foreigners to come into our country to become citizens, or to have a visa to come here for any reason, if they're Muslim, they need to be taken in question by customs, I would suppose, and these custom agents need to inquire as to whether or not they believe in honor killings. And there needs to be an inquiry as to whether or not they would, if they believe in it, and would they carry it out under certain circumstances. We have had honor killings here in America, and it's usually by Muslims from a foreign nation that come here and they bring their old ways with them. But I don't think we've done enough in our government has done enough to ask all these Muslims that come here to be citizens or come here to work or come here to visit whether they believe in that. And thus, we have American citizens who were not born here though, who are murdered because their parents or their husband or a relative that came here or lived here believes in honor killings. We haven't done anything really to address this, and we do need maybe a new law that requires all foreigners to be asked this question. To be fair, it should be asked of everybody that wants to become an American citizen. And when you get a visa to come to this nation, you need to be asked that question: do you believe in honor killings, or have you ever participated in honor killings? Now, some of these Muslims who are true to their faith will say, yes, I do believe in honor killings. And then, of course, we can't let them in. We don't want that here. And that's all I'm simply saying. A lot of Americans don't yet get the idea, or are not educated enough, I guess, to know what kind of hell women in these Muslim countries are going through. You can just go to YouTube and you can look at honor killings and mutilations. They have one video on YouTube that shows a woman who had acid thrown in her face. I think it was in Pakistan by her husband. And she's been going through one operation after the next. And finally, another Pakistani woman who believes in women's equal rights hired her as to work at giving haircuts to men and women, or a beauty salon. And you can find that on YouTube. And you ought to take a look at what women go through in Pakistan and Saudi Arabia and Iran and places like that. Just go there, look for honor killings, look for women of Islam. Look at the things that women, you can just come up with your own titles and you can find it. And you can see the real horror. There's one on there where it shows 5 women in Pakistan who were buried alive because they wanted to marry men of their own free choice. And 2 Pakistani, I think it was in Pakistan, 2 Pakistani lawmakers actually condoned the murders. But it wasn't a murder, of course. All these women wanted to do was just have something as simple as a life of happiness, love, and to marry somebody they would love, not somebody they're told to marry. That's barbaric and animalistic, I'd say. And that can find its way here to America if we don't do a better job of policing and questioning people that come to our country who are Muslim, who believe in honor killings, and they don't always necessarily have to be Muslims. We need to make it very clear to them that they will be prosecuted. If they come over here and throw some acid in their wife's face or their kid's face, or murder them, and say, well, I'm going to use my religion as a defense. No, you will not. And they will sign a form, a paper, that clearly states that they do not believe in honor killings. They do not believe in violence against any family member and anyone over anything that's of a religious, that has anything to do with religion, or their religion particularly. If we don't weed these people out, then more honor killings are going to become very prevalent in America, and it can spread, because they'll spread their message that honor killings is the right thing to do in these temples, or not temples, but mosques. And we could have a catastrophe on our hands somewhere down the road. Honor killings there's nothing honorable about it. It's still murder. There's no difference. It's no different than the Ku Klux Klan murdering black people, or murdering a white person or a white woman because you date a black guy. That's just stupid. That's still murder. And it needs to stop. And our government needs to have the courage to take on this issue, which right now it doesn't, and deal with it, and make it very clear. You come to this country even for a visit. If you believe in honor killing, you don't come. You don't have any business here. We don't want it here. We don't tolerate it here, and we'll never accept it here. And unfortunately, the women of America are the ones who really better step up to the plate and fight this, and make it clear to your congressional representative you want this dealt with, and you don't want any cowardice. Because it's you, the American women, are the ones who are going to get the worst of this if it comes about. Because again, there are families of Muslims and other religions, not just Muslims only, who will kill their own daughters if they defy their religion, if they want to marry somebody, even here in America, of their own free will. Basically put, if you come to America, you must adopt our way of life, not your way of life. You can keep your own religion, but anything that deals with violence, hate, and discrimination, don't come here. If you have that in you, we don't need that any more of that here. We're trying to get rid of that. And so you need to change the way that you view life. And if you view it in a way of violence and through such things, then you need to just not come here at all. I'm sorry I'm not a great communicator. I do the best I can, but I think I got the message across to you. And I hope that you'll contact your congressional representative and ask them to take this issue up and make sure that our government is weeding out people. I don't know if it'd be custom agents or not that would do it, but maybe other people. But they need to weed these people out and not let them into this country if they believe in honor killings or any kind of violence in the name of their religion. Simple as that. You can do your part by contacting the congressional representative and making sure that they get this message and that they hear you. Don't let them ignore you. Make sure they hear you. Thank you for your time.